Give me your overall thoughts on Jose performance against
Well,
Jermall.
I'm super proud with his performance. I'm a big fan of Charlo, and I want to thank him for the opportunity. At the end of the day, Charlo's Charlo, man. He's a champion for a reason. He's been in the game for so long. Yeah, he did went through some problems. Everybody goes through some problems, and he came back and he won fair and square. Uh, the good he hit Junior with everything, and he didn't really hurt Junior, and he's good, he's healthy, and that I think, to me, I'm very proud with Junior's performance. I think he the crowd follows him, and the crowd was supporting him, so I think he has another chance of another good fight, and we'll see from that. It's up to him, to stay focused, train hard, and he did train hard for this fight. Um, but at the end of the day, he's not a 160 fighter. He's a 154. He walks at 160. We took that fight because it was a great opportunity. Then they came back. They said 163, and actually they wanted to fight at 165, and I said no, that's too much. And then we agreed to 163, and then he comes almost 4 pounds over. I'm not going to put any excuses. We take our losses and our wins, and I thank him for the opportunity, but I think his real weight is at 160 or 154.
Jermall, did he impress you? Did the power look like it was lacking a little bit? Like, did overall
You
thought?
know, I think he did enough to win the fight. He did not impress me. Thank God he did not. I didn't want to be impressed. So whatever he did was good for me. I'm happy with his performance.
Yeah.
Uh, like I said, he was a bigger guy and he never hurt Junior. It was a good fight. Um, but let's take in consideration that that he hasn't fought for a while, and he won that fight. So maybe that will motivate him and train a little bit harder. And I think we can definitely, in the second fight, we see the Jermall Charlo that he is, that fucking lion that he is. I'm a big fan of him. And if he stays focused and gets his life straight, he's still a dangerous fighter. We've seen glimpses of what he used to do, but he did not impress me. He did enough to win. He won fair and square, like I said. But I think if he's going to go up to 168, I think he has to focus a little bit more, and hopefully he does, and he heals or whatever he's going through or whatever. But yeah, he's going to need more than that.
Do you view him as? I mean, if you ask me, this Saturday was really his super middleweight debut because he came in at 166.6. So
Yeah.
that was like his debut. So do you view him now as like a possible threat to your son a little bit? David?
Well, if he looks like that. I mean, David would tear him apart. I couldn't even compare him to. Like I said, I give him his props. He won. He did good at 168, like you said, kind of almost. Uh, David would tear him apart. Maybe, hopefully, if we make that Canelo fight and then the co-main event with Caleb Plant, bro, that would be a great fight.
Yeah.
Maybe a Caleb Plant and him, it would be a great fight.
I mean, but would so is I know you said that he's not like a threat to your son. He didn't really impress you or anything like that. So with that said, would it piss you off even more if he was to get the Canelo fight? Because he was already like calling for it.
No, man, I think he deserves to get whatever he wants to get. He's been in the business for a long time, and we all get what we deserve. Um, I'm not a hater. If he gets the fight, I'm happy for him. Or whoever gets the opportunity to fight Canelo. I mean, it doesn't hurt me or it doesn't do me any good. At the end of the day, I can't force things. If it happens, it happens. Why would I focus on Canelo and he might never fight David? And he's been running from David and he doesn't want to fight David. So hopefully one day he wakes up and he says, I want to face David, because if I don't fight David, how am I going to make history? How am I going to get into that Hall of Fame of the best fighters? they would never qualify him as the best fighter like Julio Cesar Chavez. You
So,
know, he's done a lot for boxing.
so you telling me Canelo not gonna go to the Hall of Fame if he don't fight David, man?
He is going to go to the Hall of Fame in a different way. He is. He's done so much. Don't. Maybe I'm explaining myself a little bit wrong. You know, in order for somebody to do what Canelo has done in boxing, it will be really hard. He has achieved so much things. My respects. He's the face of boxing, but in Mexico, they will never accept him, you know, as the greatest. You know, if he doesn't fight David Benavidez, because he's a champion, and everybody knows that he doesn't want to fight David, especially now with this win. You know, they will not give him that credit because he ran from David Benavidez, and the thing is that everywhere he goes, he's gonna be hunted by David if he doesn't fight David. I think he's the face of boxing. I think he's the king of the 168. Why not fight David and get it over with? You know, that's what I think. You know, and I heard it from a lot of people too, from a lot of greats, from Julio Cesar Chavez and a lot of great trainers that, you know, I don't know if they hate him or whatever, but they already said that, you know, and I think that's going to be in back of his head, you know, everywhere he goes, and say, "Hey, Benavidez, why don't you fight Benavidez, Benavidez, Benavidez?" You know, I hate talking about Canelo. It bothers me, you know.
Yeah.
So you can imagine how much is it going to bother him. But like I said, you know, he is going to make history, but in a different way. And my respects to him, you know, he's a great champion. He's done so much, you know. But when you're a champion, you still got to prove yourself. You still got to prove yourself. One day we're going to be in that position. Other hungry lions are going to come, and you know it's going to be their time. I believe that this era is David's era.
Does Canelo stop Charlo?
I think so. I think so. I think so. Charlo is a little bit slower. Dave Jr. put a lot of pressure, and you know he got shot in the leg. You know,
Yeah.
so fucking Canelo puts more pressure. You know, so and throws more combinations. You know, I believe that he doesn't have the footwork that his brother did that has.
Hmm.
I think, and that's why he was able to survive and get away from Canelo. This Charlo, I think, in my opinion, my respects to Charlo, and hopefully he doesn't get mad. I like Charlo, but I see Canelo. Yeah, I see that he can stop him.
Since you got a chance to, look at Charlo up close and personal, does he beat Caleb Plant? Because that seems like the next logical fight.
Yeah, you know, not the Charlo that fought Jose Benavidez Jr.
Hmm.
Like I said, you know, if he comes and gets back to where he was in that rhythm, I see him stopping Caleb Plant. But if there's no improvement, and you know he thinks that he won the world title, and then he gets confident and by beating Jose Benavidez Jr. thinks that he's back in the map. I don't think that he has to stay humble. He has to train a little bit harder, stay a little bit more disciplined. And yeah, of course I see him beating um Caleb Plant. But Caleb Plant, man, he takes care of himself. You know, he's hungry. You know, he learned a lot. So I just think it's going to be a great fight. You know, but it all depends who comes 100% that night.
I I know you said that there's a good chance that your son will end up fighting Canelo in May, and it could happen. But
Yeah,
in my opinion, and I think other people's opinions, it'll probably happen in September, probably. So if who's the one guy at 168 that, if let's just say you get like a little tap on the back where just like, hey, you're gonna get him in September, just get somebody else. Like, would you choose who's the guy you would choose? Would it be
I will
Moreno?
not choose anybody, man. We're ready
You would
to
just sit
fight
out and
any.
wait.
Huh?
You would just sit out and wait.
No, 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 not at all. It doesn't matter. We will choose whoever they give us. You know, we're not here to choose and pick who we want to fight. You know, that's not our job. You know, that's Al Heyman's. You know, he'll give us whoever. You know, but we will not sit down and wait. Even though if they say guaranteed, there's no guarantees in boxing, man. Canelo could get injured. Canelo could get cut. Canelo could retire. And guess what? We lost the whole year. You know, so why not get more experience? Don't be afraid and go up there, you know, and prove ourselves again that we are the best at 168.
Last topic. Um, I know I heard Jim Lampley. I think it was Jim Lampley say it, and I've heard like a few other people say it that like one day your son could be like heavyweight champ. Like is that something that's in like the back of your head? He's so big, man. Like
I heard that. I heard that, man. That was a really. I actually saved it and I sent it to David, man. You know, the way he expressed himself about David makes me super happy, man. Just the way he's looking at things. You know, he's an expert. You know, he's been in business, boxing business for a long time. So whatever he says, I pay really good attention to it so we can learn and get a little bit better from that. Um, I never thought about that. You know, maybe when he's getting close to retiring, maybe who knows? Uh, maybe he could do that. But right now we're just thinking about 168, 175. I don't know about being a heavyweight. To be honest, we will have to see. I mean, James Toney was a heavyweight. He was a little guy. You know.
for sure, but wouldn't I guess I'm also asking because your son was a champ at 68. If he grabs the belt at 75, cruiserweight would be three, bridgeweight would be four,
Jeez,
heavyweight would be five.
man, that would
So,
be.
and I believe no Mexican has ever held belts in five different weight classes.
Yeah, you know what? I'm not gonna get ahead of myself. We're gonna try to do what we can do. It's not easy. It's easy to say that. If you ask somebody else, they'll probably say yes. For me, right now, let's get one first. Try to get the second one, and then let's see what happens.
Gotcha. And just last question. Just want to get a quick prediction, man. There's um probably the last, if I can remember correctly, if I can remember the whole schedule, probably the best fight left on the schedule is probably Devin Haney versus Regis Prograis for this year. How do you see that fight playing out, man?
I like Devin Haney and Bill. They're my friends, man. And no matter what happened in that fight, I'm gonna go 100% with Devin Haney. Um, it's a great fight, a difficult fight for both of them. I just want to see David Haney win, man, and hopefully I don't make a lot of people mad or whatever. But they're my friends, man. I consider them my friends. I know them, uh, and I'm gonna have to go with David Haney.
How does he kind of, and I'm not saying that Regis fights like your son at all, but he is gonna come forward, he is gonna put the pressure on, and Devin's kind of gonna fight like Caleb Plant, Andrade, where he tries to like stay on the back foot a little bit. Like, how does he deal with it?
Well, if I had both fighters, my best advice for him, we know that Progress, he's gonna come. He comes in. He likes to fight inside, put the pressure. He's a really good fighter. David Haney, he's a fighter that uses his jab a lot and he uses his distance very well. He uses his footwork is excellent, is good. That's why he's the one. Um, if I had Progress, I would tell him, Regis, I would say, you got to make it into a street fight. You got to cut the ring off. You got to move your head more, good defense, boom, boom, boom. Try to go through those punches and try to go to the body a little bit more. And, body, body, head, head, body. And stay with them. Don't give them distance. David Haney is really good at distance. He uses his jabs, straight punches, and good footwork. Now, if I was David Haney's trainer, and I hope I don't make nobody mad, but I'm not. It's just uh, 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 what would I do? I would say stay behind that jab, throw your straight punches. If you see an opening, risk a little bit and get out. Use your angles and use your legs. Throw some uppercuts sometimes they're in there because Regis is going to try to come in. Set them up and catch them with those uppercuts or hooks so you could get them off balance. It's not easy. Both of them have to be in their 100% good condition, and that's what I probably would do. But at the end of the day, I don't know shit about what David Haney does or Regis, so it's easy to say. But when you're there, you got to see and you got to connect with the fighters, So that's just me. But at the end of the day, I know both of them have a great plan, and I don't know shit about boxing, man. I'm learning, so that's just me.
Get out of here, man. Now you just being too modest, man. Get out of here.
No, 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 because at the end of the day, like I said, it's easy to say, that's why sometimes I don't want to say things because it was so easy, motherfucker. Why don't you do it, But it's not that easy. But I'm learning every day, and I try to learn. I would not send David Haney to go on brawl. That
Yeah.
would be the worst thing that I could do.
Mhm.
I would not say to Regis, fucking go there and box David Haney, So I think just my little thinking.
Gotcha. Look, man, really appreciate you jumping on with me. Crazy weekend for you guys, man. Congratulations. We'll talk again soon, man. Thank you, brother. Thank you.
Thank you. Really appreciate it. Thank you, buddy.